Hello, my name is Vova and welcome back to a series of lectures how to take amazing pictures with your phone. This is lecture number 6 and I want to get back to the subject of light, and I would like to us to practice the how we see the light on the pictures. So we are pausing with the theory, and what I want to do now is go over different works of famous photographers and see how they use the light in their work. Okay, the first picture I want to look is a beautiful picture by Manuel Bravo, and here we see a combination of direct light and indirect or soft light. So we can see it by the combination of bright spots and the shadows. And of course, in the light in the shadow is darker than light here. Just imagine if the person was in the shadow only of the tree, the lighting would be totally different. And this kind of lighting creates a contrast picture. If you remember, contrast is the difference between the bright parts and the dark parts, and if they're very different, then the picture is contrast. So we can see that part of the face is lit by the direct light, okay, and most of the body is in a shadow. The sun is somewhere in midday. We can see it by the angle of the light, of the shadows. Depends where it was taken, of course. In different parts of the globe the angle will be different, but it's definitely not evening or morning sun. This beautiful picture of Frida Kahlo, the famous painter, we see an amazing work of soft light. Okay, it's probably done by large window on the right side of the model, and we can see very gradual movement of the light from the bright to more dark places. And of course the photography emphasizes it with the grades of the wall, and the whole picture is very well balanced and gives a certain tone to the mood. So the soft light here definitely works differently than the previous picture. Another example of soft light, we can see the direction is from above the person, the woman here, and we can see it by the shadows here and here. Also in the building, by the building, we can see that there might be some direct light on the building, but woman is certainly under soft light conditions, and probably there is some large space between the buildings, because we don't see a clear direction. So there is a direction, but the source is very large. Another example of soft light, and here is a bit different with a twist. So we can see that the face is in a shadow except the sides. The sides are lighted, and the source, my guess is that in front of the woman there is a wall or some kind, and above there is some ceiling covering, and the light, the main big light source is coming from behind. So that's why we see the shadow on the face. Harry Callahan, amazing work. And in contrast to that soft work of his, there's another picture by Callahan for color and not black and white, and it's very contrast. Now that's a good example of a contrast picture, working with direct light. The buildings are very white and dark. In the dark places we don't see any details. Of course, it's also a matter of development of the picture. It's not a digital picture, it was made by film. Callahan took photos on the film, and the development of the negative makes also a difference. But clearly the shooting conditions were in direct light, bright day, probably somewhere midday. We can see it by the shadows of this building here and here. And another picture of Kalan, it's the sun is the evening sun. You can see it by the angle of the shadows, the color of the picture, and it's a totally different mood, okay, as compared to previous urbanic, very sharp and energetic. Here the energy is very, very different. Okay, here we see also direct light. The sun, we can see by the angle of the shadows, is somewhere here probably, and the direct light, evening light, creates very nice shadows on the water. We can see the texture of the water. So beautiful work. Joseph Kudelka. Now here we see a combination of direct light and soft light in the shadow. The person on the background, you can see it's somewhere after midday towards evening in the angle, right? And the contrast of the face is very high. We can see the difference between the black. We don't see any texture of the face here. No details, right? It's just black and no white here. But the girl face, for example, has different light on it, and because the girl is in a shadow. Ralph Gibson, many works are done very, very contrast. One of them is this beautiful work. We can see the shadows, and the white parts have a really almost no detail. The white is just white, and the black is very, very black. We see the texture only on the skin. So this combination plays beautifully with the lines here. So beautiful work as well. Now here it's soft light. We can see it by the shadows, by the shadows on a jacket, and it's just probably the conditions are or cloudy day or some shadow, and but the sky is open because everything is uniformly has a uniform light, more or less. Here it's direct light, probably evening by evening. Yeah, we can see that this is side light. Okay, and here we can see soft light coming from a window from this side. We can see a soft shadow here, and by the head as well. The picture is contrast, and here's another example of a contrast work of the development of the negative. It's possible when we shoot on a phone or on digital camera to get near this effect. We can play with the contrast somewhere. During the course I will talk about how we can change the contrast in the picture. But the direction of the light is clear, right? It's from this side, from the left side of the person. Steve McCurry, evening light. We can see it by the color, and also we can see it by the shade here, the direction, right? Of course, the previous picture, it's soft light, right? It's a deep evening, like just before the sunset. The light is very, very soft. And here another example of a beautiful portrait of Steve McCurry. Also soft light. We can see the direction of the light by the those spots on the face, right? this bright spot. So large, probably between buildings, large source of light coming in front of this man, in front and above. And the shadows, pay attention, there's almost no shadows, very, very smooth shadows here on a cheek, for example. Here's in another work of soft light. Steve McCurry loves to work with soft light. Probably some entrance to a house. We can see direction coming from here, not just from the side, but from side and a bit in front of the boy. You can see it by the shadows. It is soft light, but if you remember when we talked about soft light, the size of the source of light matters and creates different shadows on the subject. In this case, on boy. Like if we compare previous picture, the shadows on the face are really different from here. Okay, this light has more direction and it's stronger. Another picture of probably morning, I would guess, early morning. The beautiful toning of the picture and the shadows. Look at the shadows, very, very long. Okay, and there's different type of work. Here we have a combination of direct light. Half of the picture is direct light, right? We can see it by the shadows here, and half of the picture with the model the model is in the shade, so this light is soft, and we can see almost no shadows, and it's beautiful combination of bright and more darker image, soft and sharp, I would say. Very, very soft light coming from above the person. Yeah. As well here we can see very, very little shadows here on the eyebrows and here. Here we see a side light from the window. See what a beautiful effect it creates. I don't remember, I couldn't find the name of the photographer, so but the effect is really, really nice. Another example of side light, soft, much softer than the previous one. You can see. Also you can see the gradual light on the wall here, on the round parts. And this is a beautiful work with the window light. Okay, unless it's studio that it's made like as natural, but let's imagine that it's a natural light. I would think there will be a window here, so the person getting close to the window, if you remember on lecture 2 or 3, when I talked about 2, I think, yeah, and when I talked about direct light, no, on the soft light, close to the window the light gets stronger, but still it is soft, it has direction, but the shadows are not sharp, so we can see it. The only sharp shadow we get is probably here, okay, but the rest is pretty gradual shadow on the face. Also on the wall you can see, right? And this is very, very beautiful usage of frontal light. The light is coming from here, and we have this beautiful work with the hair, so the direction is in front of the camera. Creates a very special effect, special mood. Now here Ania Leibovich work, probably sunset. You can see, right, by the half faces light and half faces dark in the shadow, so the direction is from here to here, soft light. Another example of very, very soft light is such soft light that we can barely identify the direction, maybe a little the difference between this part of the face and this part of the face. so it's probably either late evening or a very, very cloudy day. And another usage of a window, big window. So I would imagine that the light source is not only the window, but on the side here there would be some kind of reflectors, because Anu Leibovich has a complicated method of working with light. But in general, the main source of light is from the window, obviously. And look what effect it creates on the Queen portrait. Yep, that's it for today. So next time I will go over different works of photographers, and we'll talk about how the lines and other parts of types of composition I used, the golden ratio and the stuff that we talked about. So see you soon. Bye.